Good morning. Our hand today is King Jack, King Jack of Diamonds. So uh, on this hand, we have a limper. I raise to 6, and then he calls. The question is, what's this limper's range? Looking at him, he looks to be tight passive. He's playing 39-5. Right now, he has limped. He's usually limping first in. Right now, it's 3 out of 8. He has raised 1 out of 8. So I kind of have a limping range like this, but he didn't raise. So I think what I'm going to do is take out like aces, queen, like queens plus, maybe like ace, king. I think in general, he's probably just going to be limping a whole lot. Let's see if I have him raised. Yeah, we've got limp and calling raise, ace 10, king queen. I mean, we'll keep those in there. Called 3 bets, meaning he opens and raises king, king queen suited, ace king. I don't know when he did that, but I think maybe we can open it up then, maybe something like that. So let's say that's his raising range, and this is his limping range. I then with a limp, I just keep with my mid position ranges. So this is my raise first in and mid position. So I'm gonna raise with that, and then villain calls. And the question is, does villain fold any of these hands? And possibly, I think maybe he folds some of these, but then leaves maybe his connectors, his suited and offsuit connectors and one gappers. Maybe like tightens up with those. Maybe leaves like jack 8, queen 9. Now he has folded, but I don't have a large sample size, so I think this is going to be his range that we're looking at. And then flop comes down ace king 8 with 2 hearts, and he does something a little unusual, and that is he leads, but he doesn't lead for much. He leads for 1 big blind, and I think that's a pretty weak bet. I think villains like this are going to be doing that with like a hand like ace kicker, king. He could be doing this with a king. He could be doing it with maybe queens, jacks, 10s. If he has those in the range, we could say 9s, maybe, possibly even an 8. He's just kind of betting to see, where do I stand? What do I have? Did I connect in some way? So he bets. I raise, and I believe this is correct. I mean, I'm challenging him with his kings. I'm challenging him with his low cards. At this point, I'm raising. If he calls, I think he's got either a draw or he has a pair. And then when he leads again here, I think that is allowing me to play correctly. So I don't think he would ever do this with a king. I don't think he would ever do this with any of his under pairs. I don't think he would do this with an 8. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think what we're looking at is an ace, maybe jack, ace 10, maybe ace 9. Ace with a okay kicker. Probably not ace king. I'm gonna say probably not ace queen either. But and then it's on me, and I folded. So let's go through and see what GTO looks like. And as you can see, it looks like his betting range is going to be really small. So against a GTO player, he should be betting pretty tight, maybe like king 10, jack 10, king 9 of hearts. You can see 9s without the 9 of hearts, some 8s, just over. He should be checking this board a lot. And if he checks, then we're looking at my hand, and you can see that, yeah, we are betting our aces, we're betting our kings, we're betting these gut shots, we're checking queens, jacks, and 10s, and I think that kind of makes a little bit of sense, because if we're behind to an ace, if we're behind to a king, it's going to be very hard for us to improve. So I think what we can do is check, and if he checks on the turn, we could possibly do a delayed c-bet, or just check turn and then hope for one street of value on the river. Go for some thin value on the river. That would be the idea. But we're betting like nines, eights, trip eights. We're betting 2, 3, 4, 5. These are just kind of betting for bluffs and so forth. And then we had can't remember what, the 2 of diamonds comes out. So 2 of diamonds comes out, and now villain, if we go check check, villain should be betting 37%. Now he's betting some of his eights, he's betting his aces, sometimes betting his kings, but those are probably value hands, checking hands. So let's go ahead and fix this. I don't think, and unfortunately I couldn't do like one big blind. It wouldn't let me. So I think what we're going to do is just kind of go through and pick the hands that I think he would be betting. So I do think he's betting the aces. I think he's going to be betting the kings, like 100% kings. I guess he could be betting the eights. I think he could be betting the eights. We're going to say check ace queen, ace 8. We're going to check the 2 pairs. And same thing, we're going to check most of the eights here, the trip eights, because I think that, I don't know if they would necessarily bet those. It's such a strong hand that I think he would probably check. And we are also going to be betting nines. I think 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, maybe. I guess we could probably do like half of those. Let's do like, I don't know. Let's bet, maybe he bets with the 7 of hearts. Bets with the 6 of hearts. 5 of hearts. Say 4 of hearts, 3 of hearts, and 2 hearts. So about half the time. All right, so let's set up that. I think that's more likely what we will sometimes see on these donk bets. So we have him betting, leading, and now it's on us. What do we do? And I'm going to say I'm glad to see that we are raising with king jack of diamonds. So I like my play. We're raising with the aces. I think that's I would be doing that, including 2 pair. Looks like we're raising with trips. I would do that. I'm raising with kings. I would do that. Queen jack 10s and 9s. I think in the past I may have raised, but I like the call. I like the call now for the same reasons that I said before. If we're behind, we're behind. It's going to be very hard for us to catch up, and he's probably not going to fold. We might also be able to get some added value from the 8s. So I like that call. And then he's betting again. Now, if he follows GTO, we've got his betting range. So let's assume he does do his betting. He does follow GTO. Now, what do? Oops, hold on. I raised. That's what I did. Now, what is he going to call with? Now, he follows. If he follows GTO, he's calling with his aces and kings, and then sometimes calling with the 8s and so forth. Is it realistic that he folds his 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7s? I don't know, but I don't. If he called with those, then I don't think he's going to lead with him unless he hit trips. Unless he hit trips. So what we can do is we can kind of check it, add those in and see if that changes anything. I don't think he's going to be raising at all. So let's go ahead and switch all the jack 10s to a call. Yeah, king 9. I just don't see him raising at all. So we'll run the solver again. Just kind of answer those. All right, he bets. oops, we raise, he calls on the 2 of diamonds. Now he's not supposed to be betting a whole lot. So question is, if he bets GTO, he's betting with basically ace 2. He's checking with everything else. So then if he does bet that, then we're supposed to be calling with king jack of diamonds. We're going to be raising with a lot of our aces, with our trips, so forth. Now, I don't think he's playing GTO, and he bet 1 big blind, and then all of a sudden he bet 9 big blinds. So what would do that? I do think if the 2 improved him, I do think it's ace 2. He could have that with the 2 pair. I don't think any of those are still betting, but I'm going to bet the aces bet. Not sure about the kings. I kind of feel like the kings could bet, but they check. I think 8s are just going to check here. 9s are going to check. So let's run our solver. Check it out. Ooh, oh man. So I built the tree. I shouldn't have built the tree. Let me get this fixed up again. Alright, so we're back to where I believe we were. So he's going to bet, and we said he's going to bet his aces, including that ace 2. And then the question is, should we include the king? Should we not? So I think if he bets the aces, I'm going to guess we're probably just going to be folding here. We're going to be folding most of the time with the king jack of diamonds, king jack of clubs. Sometimes we can raise it. If he bets with his kings because he thinks we have maybe that heart draw, let's try this again. So now he bets. Now it looks like our king jacks has been like half called, mostly called with king jacks. We were going to raise with king jack of hearts, so we could have called if we think he's going to be doing that with the hearts. We're going to be aggressive with our draws in this case. What if I just don't think most players are going to donk with like the 8s. Of course, I think the wider his range is and the weaker it is with that raising range, we're going to become more aggressive. So let's do this. Let's add these, because the player just doesn't like to call, or doesn't like to fold. So once he put in a bet, then he's going to. So he's back to calling, and then here he's donking. We'll keep everything with the lead, and we're going to change this to betting 2s, but checking 3s and 4s. So I think, all right, so now still looks at, so now with all of those hands, so with all the kings, we're still just going to be calling mostly with king jack. That was a 2 of hearts, 2 of diamonds. Change that. We change a 2 of diamonds. Okay. So we are. Let's fix that. With the hearts, looks like we're guarding against him just betting it. We're going to say he bets all of that, and then we're going to be checking the kings. Let's run this out again, because I don't think he plays GTO. So he bets, and then If he bets those hands now with that 2 of diamonds, okay, that now we're looking at like folding. But my guess is here, if we add in these kings, it's going to be like half and half. Call with our king jacks. Turn this over. He bets. Oops. Yep. Now we're calling. We're calling completely with king jacks. And I bet we're gonna get wider as we go on. So raising with ace jack plus 2 pair. All right. So how about my hand? Let's go back and rate this hand. What could we have done? I don't know what he's really doing this one with. So 2 times he donks flop with top pair or better. So it's possible that he has some sort of ace little, and he doesn't have a flush draw if he has ace little. So maybe he has something like, any of these, and then on the flop he goes ahead and bets 1 big blind. And I think that indicates just general weakness. I've got top pair, I've got really weak hand, but then when he sizes up, I tend to lean. I think that card improved him in some way. So it is entirely possible that he has ace 2 and just hit 2 pair, and now he's betting it. So I think exploitatively, I like my fold. But from a GTO perspective, I could probably called here if I think he's going to be betting a wider range on the turn as well. And we just don't know that because we only have 57 hands. We do know that he Slimpton called to raise with ace 10 offsuit, king queen offsuit. He's called 3 bets out of position with king jack, called 3 bets in position with king queen suited, ace king off, called 2 bets from the blind with king queen. Limped from mid position and called a mid position raise first in with ace 10. So this is very similar to what what happened here. So do I think he would bet 9 with ace 10? Maybe. It's still kind of small. If you think about it, the pot was 29, he bet 9, so a little more than a third. So I'm not going to beat myself up over this play. I do like my flop raise. We're going to be aggressive with that, and then when he bets again, I think if he checks, I'm going to be checking behind with my king, more than likely. And maybe we need to check that. So let's say if he checks, then I'm supposed to bet. But I think if he was betting with his aces, I think now the kings are probably going to be 100% check. So my gut tells me that I'm probably ahead if he checks on the turn. I'm ahead if he checks on the turn. But then, yeah, now I have to bet. I have to continue betting that king jack. So I think I would have messed up. That would have been my mistake. All right, hopefully you enjoy this. Look tomorrow for another.